Uh, my lords, the noble Lord Howard of Rising, commented that it seemed surprising there were 22 speakers given the context of this debate. But the fact is, as both the noble lady Baroness Faulkner of Margravine and Viscount Trenchard referred to, there's a great hunger for a chance to make a democratic contribution to the nation's discussion now, and that's why we're taking this opportunity. And the historical framework in which we conduct this debate is useful and informative, I think. There's an EU requirement for member states to avoid excessive government deficits. Of course, what's considered excessive is, in the age of COVID-19, changing very significantly. But behind this, and certainly wheeled out very often in British political debate, was what's known as the household fallacy, the idea that the national budget has to be managed as though it was a household, and the pennies in and the pennies out all have to match up. Now, that was used to justify the policy, the ideological approach of austerity that the noble Lord Hayne referred to as doing so much damage, both to our society with poverty and inequality, but also to our preparedness to deal with the awful shock of the coronavirus. Would the noble Lord the Minister agree with me that the fallacy of household management being equivalent to economic national management is now dead, and assure me that the government will not revive it? Now, we are, of course, as many noble lords referred to, in a huge phase of restructuring. And I'd like to quote a letter in the Financial Times from Church Action for Tax Justice, which said the social contract is now being renegotiated. Now, the Prime Minister, in a press conference on the 30th of April, said he's never liked the term austerity. Could the noble Lord the Minister tell me that it's not just the term that the government doesn't like, but that it's abandoned the whole approach? Will the government use its financial position to rebuild a better world rather than going back to where we were? Now, as many noble lords have said, this debate has to be considered in the context of Brexit. And can I congratulate the government on an issue that I was pushing and being rebuffed on at the start of March, that I believe we are now signing up to something akin to membership of the early warning and response system for health in Europe. And it would seem that on this, the government agrees that cooperation and working together makes sense. But we are approaching very fast an enormous challenge: the environment, agriculture, aviation and fisheries. In the context of Brexit, we have to set up whole new systems. How can we do that democratically, coming back to where I started, when it is so difficult for full democratic debate to take place in your Lordship's House and elsewhere?